Alright, so for today's video, I just wanted to try out reading some Reddit stories and giving my opinion on the situation while there's some balloons in the background. So this is the first story. The title is, Am I the asshole for telling my mom she's also to blame for why my brother and I won't host our parents for the holidays? Last Christmas was my brother's first holiday, now living at home with our parents. He wanted to host everyone in his new apartment. Also around this time last year, my parents had mutually agreed not to get each other gifts as they were focusing on paying off some debt. Apparently, there was some miscommunication. My dad thought this meant no gifts at all. My mom thought this meant no gifts, but they still exchanged stockings. In our family, stockings are always small stuff, body care, candy, you get the picture. I was living with my parents last year and I had heard all these discussions. I honestly saw both sides when on Christmas morning we all woke up and mom didn't have her stocking filled from dad. She was very quiet but clearly hurt. He ran out to the pharmacy quickly, bought some things to fill her stocking, saying he was sorry. Now, should my dad have communicated better? Sure. Do I understand my mom's hurt by the situation? Also sure. But I thought they'd be able to swallow it all for lunch at my brother's. We go and my dad is doing his best to make up for his blunder. My mom is in a terrible mood and keeps picking at him all day long. Toward the end of our time there, she ended up making a snarky remark about my dad not filling her stocking. My dad flipped his shit and started screaming that nothing he does is enough, then stormed out. My brother was clearly upset by having Christmas ruined by their arguing. I convinced my mom we should leave not long after. My brother and I were upset with both of them. My dad shouldn't have flipped out and screamed. My mom also should have kept her comments to herself or spoken to my dad later. My brother was embarrassed and his roommate had come home, and while he was in his room, he overheard the arguing. My brother stopped having my parents over altogether after that, though he still invited me. My brother would also visit us at my parents' place. Thanksgiving is fast approaching, and we were all trying to coordinate plans. I recently got my own place, but honestly don't want to host after last year. My brother said he's never hosting another holiday at his apartment again. My mom was hurt by this, but eventually we all just planned to have dinner at my parents' place. Later on, my mom was complaining to me that my brother won't have us over anymore. Feeling pushed out, she said it was my dad's fault, and she shouldn't be punished. I told her while my dad was wrong for screaming, she chose to be whiny all day long. I clarified that I understood her hurt, but she also partially ruined the day by not letting it go. My mom got mad at me and accused me of taking sides. I said, I'm not. If dad bitched, I'd tell him the same, but he seems to understand that he ruined it. I also pointed out that neither of them ever apologized to my brother, and I'm not confident they'd never do it again. My mom says I'm in the wrong for how I spoke to her. Am I the ass here? Honestly, regarding situations where family is involved, it's a very delicate matter since it's people you'll be seeing for the rest of your life, and I think it's very important to take note of how you talk to them and what what posture you take regarding the theme or the discussion. But honestly, I don't think the poster did anything wrong, as he clearly stated that if his dad also would have messed up, bitched, as he said it, he would have done the same thing. But honestly, I don't think this poster is the asshole. I just think their parents had a miscommunication and probably escalated a bit. But I don't know. Okay, so the commenter had an update, and they say, "This is not my parents' first time having an argument like this. In the past, it hasn't been about Christmas, but it's been about other stuff. They hate each other but stay married due to not being able to afford divorce and live separately. They hate each other. Their screaming matches are constant and they have ruined other family events. We've suggested therapy and they won't go. They want to stay trapped and miserable. Yet when my brother and I bickered about stupid stuff as kids, they scream at us for ruining their peace. We're at the point where they don't get to do this without consequences. This is the consequence. For those saying I shouldn't blame my dad as much as I do in this post, the main reason I told him at 50% is because he started screaming. If he had just remained quiet and spoke to my mom later, then he shouldn't be held to the same degree, because he screamed and refused to take accountability for his tantrum. He goes up here too, but I agree without that, my mom is more at fault. Thank you to those who actually listened and paid attention. Even if I didn't agree with what you said, you didn't try to play stupid devil's advocate and make the story into something it wasn't. I mean, yeah, what the poster just said gives a lot of context. Like, if they clearly hate each other that much, maybe your brother or your family in general should just consider making two holidays, or like two separate days where they can celebrate the holiday, just so they won't get in each other's hair. If you're comfortable with that, of course, and you have the money to do it, because it can get pretty expensive too. But yeah, I think no one was really in the wrong. Maybe just your dad, like, screaming, because screaming is generally not good. But yeah. Okay, so this was the first post I read, and I read it without a script. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing that. I don't think so. But yeah, I'm gonna write a script for the next post, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I just stopped. I just finished writing down the script for the second story. I think I'm more confident, since I like know what I'm gonna do, and there won't be so many empty spaces. But yeah, I'm gonna read the story and read my observations, and yeah, I'll probably do another story, and I'll call it a video. I'll call it a wrap. This is the second post. So, I'm friends with this guy that I've known since kindergarten. He got married some years ago, and now he and his wife have a little baby girl, and she's currently at toddler age. I come over often enough that I'm used to seeing the little bugger, and she's great. I don't have any other little kids from family or anything in my life, so it's been great seeing a little human grow. Every once in a blue moon, they ask me to watch her for a few hours while my friend and his wife get some date time or whatever they need to do. So I was hanging out with her, and I know that they've been trying to get her to take her first steps. I read about a trick where if you make them hold something, then they will walk without holding onto a surface. So I gave her a toy and filmed it, and it worked. I sent the video to them, and my friend didn't care. He was just happy, but his wife was pissed. She was mad at me that they weren't there for the big moment. I don't have the type of relationship with her where I can have a deep one-on-one with her, but I talked to my friend about it, and he's not upset with me, but his wife still is. She thinks I robbed her of a key moment. I did get it on film, but I get what she's saying. I had no malicious intent, but I was the asshole for getting the toddler to take those first steps. I honestly didn't think the trick would work, but it did. Okay, so on this post, we're dealing with a pretty delicate topic, which are special one-time moments. And while the poster really didn't have any intentions of causing harm, and we're really just trying out something they read, I can imagine as a parent, especially as what I can guess being a first-time mother, it's difficult knowing that you lost out on a big moment like that. But I don't think it's all that bad, since the poster did get the moment on film. I think the mom should try to ease off a bit, since it was just an accident. And she should rest easy knowing that there will be more first experiences for the baby. And it's not like the first time a baby slash toddler walks, it permanently unlocks a skill, and she will still have more refining to do. Oh no, I think the notes were maybe a bit off. The post wasn't that long, so there wasn't really much I could say. But yeah, I'm gonna try scripting another story. Well, not another story. Writing down my observations before I say them for the third and final story, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is the third story. Third and final story, probably the longest, I think. Here it goes. My wife, 25 female, and me, 27 male, are trying to make plans for the holidays, and this year, my wife wants to do Christmas with her family. Wife's family are not very nice to her. They pick on her a lot, like backhanded comments that are supposed to be jokes, particularly her brothers, but occasionally her dad too. So I texted her mom, 52 female, dad, 51 male, and brothers, 22 male, 28 male, and 30 male, without telling her, and said that we are excited to be with them for Christmas, but I asked them to please keep their snarky comments to themselves. I told them that the comments calling her immature, dumb, and annoying are unnecessary and rude, and they really hurt her feelings. Her dad responded that my wife has always been a bit sensitive, and this is just the way things are with the siblings. This got back to my wife because her mom sent her screenshots of the text messages, and she said to please don't create any more drama during the holidays. Here's my justification for this text. She got a porch goose for Christmas, which she asked for, and she was really excited and telling all the clothes she wanted to make for it. Her brother rolled his eyes and she said she was immature. Then she got really embarrassed and just seemed sad. This happened several more times when she was opening gifts. When I asked her to show me some of the patterns of the clothes she was going to make the porch goose later, she just got embarrassed again and said she didn't want to talk about it. I would like to point out that she is a full-time nanny and housekeeper to 3 kids, so even if it were immature, she has an excuse. Sometimes her brothers will just randomly call her dumb, like at her family's 4th of July get-together. She and one of her brothers were going back and forth about roundabouts, and he just shut down the conversation by saying he doesn't argue with people who don't go to college, and she said almost nothing the rest of the night, even after we got home. My wife lost a good deal of weight a few years back, but her family is constantly commenting on her food choices and how much or little she eats. And few months to keep her on track, they remind her that most people who lose weight gain it all back. In spite of all this, most of the time her family is pleasant to be around, but it's like they just can't help themselves and need to make these digs at her. When I try to, or she tries to say, "Don't say that, it's always just a joke," or "You're reading too much into it," it's just hard for me to see this happen. When I try to bring it up to her, she closes down or says that it's just how her family is. I just don't want to spend another holiday watching her try to brush it off. Now, according to my wife, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, and brother-in-laws are all mad at me, and according to them, I have already ruined Christmas in October. Maybe I should have left this up to my wife, but I know she wouldn't do it. Am I the asshole for telling my in-laws to not pick on my wife? Now, I most definitely think that this poster is not the asshole, since he was just trying to look out for his wife. And although sibling jokes and manners can get pretty rough, it's important to remember that we are telling this stuff to people that are supposed to matter to us, and that our voice and our words can be very important to them. In no way, shape, or form is it okay to call your siblings dumb on a serious matter. If there's any confusion on whether if it was serious or not, you should most definitely clear it up. I think the wife's fathers and brothers are most definitely at fault, because if you've seen that those type of comments bring your daughter/sister down, you shouldn't even be making them. I don't think the poster ruined Christmas. I think the celebration is easily salvageable with some conversation, and if they're not up to it, I don't think it would be all that bad for the poster and his wife to celebrate separately on this occasion. I mean, there's always next year, right? That was the third and final story. Took me a bit more time to script that one because I don't know. The text was just a little bit more extended, and I don't know. It just took me more time. This is my first time making a video like this. Well, a video in general, so the editing might be a little bit off, the audio might be a little bit off, but please take that into consideration. Any words of advice or anything would be greatly appreciated, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.